What if enlightenment is not found in temples, not in books, and not in teachers, but in living itself? Today, let's talk about Siddhartha, a novel about a man who searches for the truth of life by walking every possible path, and discovers that only through his own experience can he find answers. This is not just a story about spirituality, but a journey of self-discovery, transformation, and the paradox that wisdom cannot be given, it must be lived. Siddhartha was published in 1922, a time when Europe was still wounded from the upheaval of World War I. The novel's author, Hermann Hesse, was deeply affected by that period. Hesse opposed the war, which made him a social outsider in Germany. His life was marked by personal crises. His father died, his wife suffered from severe mental illness, one of his sons became seriously ill, and Hesse himself battled depression and nervous exhaustion. He underwent psychotherapy and sought new ways of understanding himself and the world. Out of personal dramas and disillusionment with society, with ideology, nationalism, and rigid systems emerges the central tension of Siddhartha. Can a person truly know wisdom by following a system or only by walking a unique personal path? The story opens in ancient India, in a time and place where spiritual life was rich with teachers, rituals, and sacred texts. Siddhartha is the beloved son of a respected Brahmin, a man of religion, tradition, and expectation. As he grows, his deepest longing becomes understanding the essence of life. Siddhartha studies the Brahmin teachings, joins in prayers and offerings, but inside he knows this isn't enough. So, with his faithful friend Govinda, he leaves home to become a samana, a wandering ascetic who rejects comfort, fasts for long periods, and practices self-denial. During his years with the samanas, Siddhartha masters discipline. He trains his body and mind, controls hunger, pain, and desire with remarkable precision. He repeats to himself, "I can think, I can wait, I can fast." Yet even mastery over the body does not answer the core question, what is life? Then they hear of a man called Gautama, the Buddha, a teacher who has attained awakening. Govinda chooses to follow the Buddha's teachings. Siddhartha respects him deeply, but something within him remains unfulfilled. He tells Govinda, wisdom cannot be communicated. To Siddhartha, wisdom is not a doctrine, not a set of instructions. It must be felt, lived, and experienced. So he parts ways with Govinda, beginning the most solitary phase of his search. Siddhartha enters the world of ordinary life, a world he once rejected. He meets Kamala, a graceful and worldly courtesan, whose beauty and allure teach him things his previous teachers never mentioned: love, desire, attachment, physical presence. To be accepted by Kamala, Siddhartha must earn wealth and comfort, so he becomes a businessman under the guidance of Kamaswami, a successful merchant. Here Siddhartha learns about society, currency, commerce, and reputation. He knows how to negotiate deals, dress richly, and move among the elite. For a time, Siddhartha enjoys the pleasures of life: fine clothes, good food, entertainment, and admiration. But slowly, he notices a hollow feeling growing inside him. Pleasure loses its meaning. Success ceases to satisfy. He becomes trapped in routine, greed, and distraction. The very things he once believed were illusions. One night, disillusioned and weary, he walks to the river and stands at its edge, feeling engulfed by emptiness. He considers giving up entirely. Then he hears the sacred sound of Om, not as a chant, but as a recognition of life's continuous pulse. It revives him, reminding him there is still more to learn. Siddhartha settles by the river and meets Vasudeva, a simple ferryman who spends his days listening to the water. Vasudeva does not quote scripture, he does not instruct, he listens. Siddhartha observes him crossing the river each day, watching the sounds and movements of the water, not as a teacher teaching, but as a learner who listens with his whole being. Slowly, Siddhartha begins to understand what the river has to teach. Time is an illusion. Past, present, and future coexist. Opposites, joy and suffering, are part of one whole. Life is not separated into stages but flows like water. The river becomes his true teacher, not through words but presence. Later, Kamala arrives again, this time as a wandering pilgrim. While reaching out to Siddhartha at the riverbank, she is bitten by a poisonous snake and dies. Before she expires, she reveals that her son is Siddhartha's child. The boy comes to live with Siddhartha, but he dislikes the simplicity of river life and resents his father's calm and poverty. He misses the rich, comfortable world he grew up in with Kamala. Eventually, the boy runs away back to the city, leaving Siddhartha in deep sorrow. This final loss teaches Siddhartha something no teacher could, to love without possession. Through this grief, he learns compassion and acceptance. Siddhartha understands that the world cannot be divided into spiritual and mundane. Joy and sorrow are inseparable, just as the river's flow carries every drop of water together. In a moment of clarity, he sees, nothing was, nothing will be. Everything has reality and presence. This insight marks a shift from resistance to acceptance. He no longer rejects life's contradictions. Years later, Govinda returns, still searching for answers through teachings and rules. In their final meeting, Siddhartha shares no doctrine. Instead, he offers only his presence and the truth he has lived, not learned. 3 core ideas emerge. 1. Wisdom cannot be taught. It must be lived. 2. Suffering is part of growth. Without pain, joy cannot be fully known. 3. Wholeness, not escape. Enlightenment is acceptance of life as it is, embracing both pleasure and pain. Hesse shows that truth lies not in obedience, but in the courageous act of living one's own path. Today, many people search for meaning through systems, identities, and external instructions. Siddhartha asks a different question. Are you living your life or following someone else's map? His journey reminds us that wisdom is not information, it is transformation. And transformation requires time, pain, and personal experience. Siddhartha does not become holy by avoiding life. He becomes whole by living it fully. So the question remains, are you still searching for answers, or are you finally listening?